Tip-off is next.
Oh.
We'll see you at halftime. Mike Breen, take it away.
Oh, my gosh.
All right, Malika, it's a chilly but beautiful Saturday night in Manhattan, where the New York basketball fans, they've got some Knick fever this season. But tonight their team faces off against the best the NBA has to offer, the Boston Celtics, before a sold-out Madison Square Garden. Jason Tatum having another special season. He's got one thing on his mind, and that's a banner. He'll go up against Jalen Brunson, also having a magical season for the Knicks. Those two were teammates at All-Star Weekend last weekend. They were ready to do battle here tonight at the Garden. And good evening, everyone. Along with Doris Burke and our most recent new addition, J.J. Redick, Mike Breen on hand, Lisa Salters with us as well. You picked a great game to start because this has a chance to be something special. A raucous crowd expected. Let's start with the Boston Celtics, best team in the NBA. They're great offensively. They're great defensively. They have star power. But maybe their biggest strength, Doris, is they're playing beautiful team basketball.
They are, and all the skill they have requires nightly give and take. And so much of the conversation, Mike, is centered around the Jays, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. And yes, they have to take fewer shots, but you can look across the top six and know there's been sacrifice. Kristaps Porzingis has said, listen, I don't care who shoots the basketball as long as you're making the right play. Al Horford is no longer a starter, and he could easily start for many teams. Drew Holiday nightly has to morph his defensive role. But, JJ, we know this in the NBA. The spotlight turns to one player in particular, typically on NBA teams.
To win at the highest level in the NBA, you need your best player to be a superstar, and Jason Tatum has been that once again this season, coming off 2 first-team All-NBA seasons. He continues to improve on the margins. Over 40% on threes off the dribble over the last 24 games, and averaging a career high in assists.
They want for the Knicks, JJ, you know, certainly they're playing terrific team basketball as well. But there's no question what their strength is. Jalen Brunson, since he's come to New York, he's changed the franchise and become one of the best players in the NBA.
Since Jalen Brunson signed here in New York, he has been a true star in these bright lights. He's having a career year, coming off his first All-Star appearance, and you see the numbers here in February. Without Randall, the production continues to go up. But Doris, it's not just Brunson. Leon Rose and his front office have done an outstanding job of building out this roster.
They have. Depth has become a real strength, and sometimes that job requires patience and understanding. Role players who fill a need and absorb responsibility and fit the roster are important. You could look at a guy like OG Anunoby in the defense he plays. In the absence of Randall, I'm looking directly at Dante DiVincenzo, who has been 2 things for them: willing to absorb an incredible defensive assignment nightly, willing to play huge minutes, and he's been productive offensively. Mike, he's been dynamic.
Now we're set to go. The New York Knickerbockers and the Boston Celtics have met more times than any 2 teams in NBA history. The first time was 78 years ago. The latest coming up next from Madison Square Garden.
NBA Saturday Primetime on ABC is presented by Wingstop. Bring the flavor. This presentation of NBA Saturday Primetime, presented by Wingstop, will continue after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
Well, we have dramatics here tonight.
The Knicks always resented the Celtics. Hard-fought basketball between 2 great teams.
Boston versus New York, one of the NBA's original rivalries. Longtime competitors and sometime combatants.
It's the way this team plays, the fight and the grit.
These Knicks will make you earn it. Their spirit endearing them to the Garden faithful.
Man, the Knicks are playing tough right now.
The Garden crowd has gone bonkers here.
The Celtics commanding the East all season.
A dominant performance in a dominant stretch in a dominant year for the NBA's best team.
Looking to maintain it at MSG.
Oh, it's Jason Tatum's world.
He's just in a zone right now.
Puts it up. It's good. Is there anything Jalen Brunson can't do?
This is what we've been waiting for.
It's that time, the Boston Celtics facing the New York Knicks. Welcome to NBA Saturday Primetime, presented by Wingstop. The city that never sleeps, hoping for a long run for these Knicks this year. Boston Celtics, though, hoping for another championship. These two longtime rivals, it's been a long time since they've both been contenders at the same time. Perhaps this will be a year. As the All-Star break is over, both teams have already played one game and set to go on the home stretch. Our starting lineups are delivered by Taco Bell. And what a starting five for Joe Mazzulla and the Boston Celtics. Best record in the NBA, 44-12. They're won 7 in a row, including the first game after the All-Star break the other night. And meanwhile, for Tom Thibodeau and the Knicks, they're banged up. Their starting front court still out. Julius Randle, OG Anunoby, Mitchell Robinson. But Hartenstein, Achua, and DiVincenzo have been just superb, filling in for some of the walking wounded of these New York Knicks. And for the first time tonight, let's say hello to Lisa Salters. Hey, Lisa.
Hey, Mike. Well, New York currently 4th in the East and ready to make a playoff push. But like you said, they are still without 3 of their starters. Center Mitchell Robinson had ankle surgery in December and likely won't be back until later in the regular season. But the Knicks are hoping that Julius Randle and OG Anunoby will be able to return sooner. Both are missing their 11th consecutive game tonight. Randle was out on the court pregame, getting some work in, and told reporters earlier this week that while his rehab for that dislocated shoulder is going well, he hasn't ruled out season-ending surgery. Assuming no surgery is necessary, Tom Thibodeau said he's hoping to have Randle back around mid-March, and Anunoby, Tibbs said, hopefully soon.
Well, it was February 1st. The Knicks were 32-17. They were a half game out of second in the East. They had won 15 of 17. Then the injuries happened. They dropped 4 in a row going into the All-Star break. They did win the other night against Philadelphia, but now playing a Celtics team that has, after 56 games, a 44-12 record, which is the exact same record they had after 56 games in a year in 2008. And we know how that finished up for the Boston Celtics. And this is a energetic crowd. JJ, you played a lot of time here. This place has a special buzz to it on nights like this.
When the Garden is buzzing, there's no better place to play. And honestly, Mike, there's no better place to play when you're a visiting player.
So Kristaps Porzingis, who used to be the home team player and now the visiting player, who has been just spectacular for the Celtics. He'll jump against Hartenstein. Boston has also won 7 in a row on the road.